The Great Sugar Detoxers Mythbusters Masterclass. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Why, most sugar detoxes are all just another yo-yo diet setup in disguise. And what you can do right now to cut the string on that yo-yo and quit or control sugar in your life for good. I want to welcome you to this webinar workshop. You're in the right place. It takes serious courage to look inward enough to admit that you may need some more information and or some support for an issue in your life. Any issue, really. I want to remind you, though, this is not for everybody. It's only for you if you feel like you've tried every sugar detox and program that requires quitting or reducing sugar on the market before and failed. If you have isolated sugar as the stumbling block to health but feel there's got to be something you're missing. You've tried to detox from sugar before and had some minor successes, but were not able to develop it into a long-term lifestyle success. And most of all, you see yourself as coachable. Sometime in your life, you've had a coach. It's worked well for you in sports or business or life, mentorship. If you see yourself as coachable, then my promise to you is that I'm going to show you how to permanently detox and remain off sugar while retaining your sanity, your family, your friends, and your career. One thing I can promise you is that you will never look at sugar as it relates to your health and well-being again in the same way. Now, you don't want to miss a single thing, so especially the number one game changer you need to know about quitting or controlling sugar for good. So stick with me right till the end, okay? So I want to know, just make sure you're in the right place if you can relate. Do you wake up in the morning and tell yourself today's the day you're going to quit sugar, only to find yourself back in the sugar later in that day? Have you tried other sugar detoxes or diets, only to have a few days of success followed by a binge? Maybe has your weight crept up on you year after year, maybe even just a few pounds? Most folks find that in their 30s, 40s, 50s, and even 60s, they've just gained like half a pound a year. It didn't seem like much, but now we're 10, 20, 30 pounds in, and it's starting to concern them. Have the intense cravings and hunger derailed you time and time again when you do try and quit? This is a very common phenomenon. And how about these? This is a big one right here. How about the crazy, awkward social family situations and family situations? Have they been a problem when you're announcing that you're changing your diet? Do you get strangely emotional when you quit sugar for just a few days, or even think about it? This, I know I was doing, and I know a lot of our folks do. Do you find yourself hiding your sweets so that they're there when you need them or want them? And is your skin breaking out more than usual? Maybe you played with some dry skin or something? It's a symptom, gang. It's a symptom. And what about your digestion? I'll leave that loose. No pun intended. You suffer from gas or bloating? It's not your fault. Here's the real problem. The information and support you need to know how to quit for 10 days or 21 days is not the same information you need to make this a lifestyle change and to stay stopped, thus improving your health and finding the ideal body weight for you. You see, difficulty stopping sugar is closer to nicotine addiction than it is to a diet or a war of your willpower. Science is now proving this daily, but big sugar and the huge food producers are trying to hide these studies from you through misinformation. It's the path to long-term lifestyle changes that are the most neglected out there. And honestly, this is where people fail. After the detox or the attempted detox is where people goof up. They get that few days in, a 3-day, 10-day, 5-day, 7-day, sometimes 21 or 30 days, but they can never make it into a lifestyle change. And this is what we're here to try and get you to do. So what are you going to learn? You'll learn the 3 secrets that no book or popular sugar detox will ever teach you about weight loss and sugar detox. You're also going to learn about sugar's revenge. It's a good one. why the average 7, 10, 21, or 30-day detoxes seem to make your cravings for sugar even worse, and how to fix that. One dramatic example of the challenges of maintaining weight loss and sugar reduction or abstinence comes from a recent National Institutes of Health study. The researchers followed 14 contestants who had participated recently in the Biggest Loser reality show. During the 30 weeks of the show, the contestants lost an average of 125 pounds per person. Think about it, gang, 125 pounds per person. But in the 6 years after the show, all but one gained most of their weight back. That's all of them. It's kind of mind-boggling, really. There are many, many university studies that show the exact same thing happens to the average dieter, or as we say, detoxer. Detoxes are not a permanent fix. Sugar detoxes only address part of the problem. Now let me be clear. Look, I love the sugar educators with the detoxes out there. These guys, they're doing a great job, an excellent job, raising the awareness of the need to look hard at at your sugar intake and the real dangers of long-term heavy sugar use. But for most of them, sugar detoxes are just an offshoot of some diet plan or food plan or program, right? It's or paleo, paleo. That's about right too. Paleo, I'm going to remember that one. Keto or paleo, vegan, vegetarian, about 100 others, right? South Beach, Atkins, it just goes on forever. Now, getting off sugar is a main component of 98% of all well-researched diets and effective diets. We all know this. Everybody says get off the white stuff. But here's the rub. Lots of our clients could do every single part of whatever diet they choose, but get off the sugar. And we don't choose your diet for you. I mean, we're going to help you with the food program, but I'm not going to tell you what you need to eat, okay? There's going to be guidelines, but I'm not going to tell you what to eat, right? And honestly, lots of diet, wellness, and health professionals send their clients just to get them off the sugar so they can effectively implement their diets. I'm mixing up all these words, but they can implement their diets, their diets, not their diets, right? Why? Because this is all we do. We help people detox from sugar and then help them to make the required adjustments to make a lifestyle change so they don't have to detox again and again. The number 2 issue is this. Most detoxes focus on the food and the days, right? And I'm not railing against all these guys, but they do have some downfalls because of the short-term nature of their programs. Success with a sugar detox is not just about the food, the number of days, or the absence of sugar. Even if folks are successful with a detox and beyond, almost everyone, like the Biggest Loser study, ends up going back to the sugar and gaining all their weight back and then some, sometimes in the first year. Now, they don't start overeating some other ingredient of the keto diet or the vegetarian diet. They end up back in the sugar. It's very common, and we have that happen all the time. The research on this is very, very clear and overwhelming. But the good news is we've been having success for decades with people just like you. If this sounds like you, if we're recognizing any of these slides or as you, and we can walk you through this almost painlessly. Now, everyone has a detox, okay? Even the smallest people with the smallest sugar habits have a little bit of a detox, all right? Our experience helping folks like you regain their lives, their proper weight, and their health has shown us that our proven system will work for you if you're willing to let us help you. So just listen till the end, as I'm going to give you the whole system today. I'm not holding anything back. I'm going to tell you exactly what's necessary and how to do it. And just a hint of what you can look forward to, too, in your life, right? And just imagine how good it will feel when you end those annoying sugar cravings forever. Handle those crazy emotions that seem to surface as you change your diet. Find simple, easy ways to enlist the support of your family and workmates. Big one. Your skin's going to glow in just a few weeks. This is little unexpected side benefit seems to please everyone, men and women alike. Greatly improves sleep. Finally wake up. This was big for me, man. Finally in the morning, you wake up refreshed, right? Just instead of dragging yourself out of bed looking for a shower or coffee. Now, tasty food, no pills. This thing does not, this is the beauty of this. There's no pills, no potions, no shakes to buy. People love this. There's no extra cost or special foods or supplements. It's a very specific meal plan. No guesswork on the recipes. You can have your food on automatic, and that makes the changes doable. You're going to end brain fog. This you got to think about this. Most people don't think that the sugar is causing them to lose concentration, to need a boost at 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Most folks never knew that sugar caused brain fog, and just were so happy to be thinking clearly again. Many people cut back or totally eliminate medications of all kinds. Diabetes meds, insulin, the list is endless. And that's on doctor's orders. You're going to make more satisfying food choices. When cravings are crushed, you'll make the right healthy choices. Increased energy, the best, longer, more productive days, and that mid-exhaustion just at midday exhaustion just evaporates. Better concentration, that scatterbrain feeling disappears, and you can focus deeply for longer periods of time. Learn to care for yourself in a deep way. People resist this at first. It feels selfish, but then they just relish in it. Being kind to yourself is its own reward. Now take back control of your health, okay? Deep down, we know what we need to do. We feel the feeling of wellness just can't be beat. And the best part, you ready? The best part is you're going to maintain steady, natural weight loss with no crazy exercise programs. That's right. I'm going to show you how that you need very little exercise for this to work. Experience with hundreds of people has proven this to us over and over. Some of our most successful clients are not even able to exercise. One awesome hack you'll find is that you don't have to worry about what to eat all the time. Over decades, we've worked out what works and what doesn't. I've been through the good and the bad and the ugly. Patterns develop, really, literally. Our protocols are repeated in success story after success story. You get to skip all the landmines in the process because we have already walked the path and mapped them all out for you. You can go exponentially faster than ever before because of you're eliminating the stopping and starting of yo-yo dieting from before. So let me introduce myself. Hi, my name's Mike Collins, and I know probably by now you're asking, who the heck am I and how can I make all these claims? Number one, I'm not some former athlete who never had a weight or sugar problem. I don't run a gym and expect you to exercise like you're at Marine Boot Camp or to lose weight. And I don't run a sugar detox on the side to get customers for another diet-related business. This is a big one, kind of what I rail on in my sugar detox myth stuff. And again, I love those guys, but most of them have some other business. I'm a recovered sugar addict. I've been sugar-free for over 30 years. I'm also the founder of the original sugaraddiction.com, which has been helping people quit sugar for 9 years now. I'm also the chairman of the board of a Food Addiction Institute, an IRS-certified 501c nonprofit institute and advocacy group that helps raise awareness about processed food and sugar worldwide, while also training health practitioners to do the same. Our board is filled with MDs and PhDs whose only goal is to help more folks understand and change their behaviors around processed food and sugar. My wife and I raised a couple of sugar-free kids from the womb to 6 years old, after which time they only had sugar about once a month for their entire childhood. And the experiment was a success, by the way. We don't have time to go into it now, but suffice it to say, perfect scores on their college entrance exams. It's amazing, really. I can't even begin to explain that I used my own children in this no sugar guinea pig kind of experiment, and it worked. And they didn't feel deprived. Over the years, I've helped thousands of people quit or drastically cut back on sugar. lose weight, and begin to trust themselves again. I've been working with people who want to change their lives for over 30 years, helping them to regain their lives ravaged by all types of substance use disorders. To say this is my passion, my life's work, might be a touch of an understatement. Even though I'm experienced in this field now, through years of experience, things weren't always this way for me. I was a sugar junkie growing up. My mother was a sugar junkie. She gained 60 pounds with my birth, and it was cute to have an ice cream sundae. My father would get her the ice cream sundaes with the pickles and all the whole thing. She was 8 years old when her mother died, and they moved in with her sister, and her father's sister, and another relative owned the general store across the street. And from 8 years old, my grandfather told his cousin that my mother could have any candy she wanted because he felt so bad for her because her mom died so young when she was 8 years old. So really, she grew up thinking that sugar was love, candy was love. She really, love for kids, love for everyone, really. I mean, she really, it was like having a sugar using friend, really, because basically she would get us anything we wanted. We had unfettered access to the sugar bowl. We could, if we didn't have an inch or half inch of sugar at the bottom of our Cheerios with the milk, we didn't put enough sugar on it, right? So I grew up sugar. I mean, that's all I had. I mean, I was like any kid, I thought, at the time. And this was long before all of the new information and university studies came out, and most people thought this way. But that led to a problem. I ended up using sugar constantly. Anytime I was sad or upset, so candy or soda, frustrated, more candy. I was unconsciously using sugar to manage my emotions. Now put a note tag on that one. More on that later. I get ahead of myself sometimes, gang. Now, of course, I didn't know about this at the time. I was just a kid who thought I liked the taste of candy like many of my clients. As I got older, though, again unconsciously, the sugar didn't work as well as before, so I turned to drugs and alcohol. Sure, it was fun for a time, but in the end, I was all alone, broke, and jobless. Rock bottom was no fun. Now, that was over 34 years ago. I stopped using alcohol and drugs with the help of some amazing coaches. Now, fast forward a few years, sober from the drugs and alcohol, and I've gained 20 pounds, and honestly, I was obsessed with caffeine, sugar, and flour products. You'd think that there wouldn't be much, you'd think that things would be much better, but I had dark circles under my eyes, pimples like a teenager, and my worst fear, rosacea on my face, like I was still drinking a ton. I'm still super tired and anxious all day and relying on those sugar hits all day just to keep me upright. And the strange part of this is all my fellow recovering friends are having the same issues: weight gain, diabetes diagnosis, and overall poor health. They kept telling me not to worry about the sugar. Here I was trying to get healthy, and the opposite was happening. The bottom for me was looking into the mirror one day and seeing those dark circles under my eyes, with a big red nose, worse than when I drank, anxious all day, and up over 20 pounds. Plus, these persistent itchy rashes started to develop everywhere. So here I was with the success with all the what folks call harder drugs, but I'm beating myself up physically and mentally with products that most people feel safe giving to a baby. This not only caused a short circuit in my brain, at the time, but it also has held back so many of my clients. Back then, over 30 years ago, there wasn't much information like there is today. I had to dig this stuff out of the literature. And what does everybody do? They hire a coach. So I figure a workout coach is the answer. I'm a guy, I used to play sports. I figure like a trainer type guy would be the perfect solution for me, right? Well, honestly, I think I just plain got lucky at the time, back in the day, 30 years ago, as I hired a person in my other recovery program who had studied a little bit about the addiction possibilities of sugar being super harmful physically and mentally, and possibly highly addictive. And that's when it all shifted for me. Here we are, two recovering folks talking health and wellness, and he's focused on sugar as the primary villain in this scenario, not the lack of push-ups and running. So I went on to research everything that existed back then, which was not much, about sugar use and abuse. I read every book and sought out the experts of the day. People around recovery started calling me the weird addiction specialist because I was focused on eliminating sugar and food additives to regain my health. After, of course, I was solidly off drugs and alcohol. Now fast forward to today, and I have weighed the same weight for over 30 plus years. I work out at CrossFit with folks half my age and keep up with them just fine. Doctors ask me questions like, how old are you again? After reviewing my labs. And I haven't had a thought about eating sugar in decades. Over the last 30 years, I've evolved a step-by-step protocol that works with, dare I say, everyone who adheres to it. And I'm going to share it with you in just a few minutes, so stick with me. If you suspect that eliminating or cutting back on sugar might change your life, then you and I are similar. I'm no Superman with tons of willpower. Far from it, believe me. I've just worked with so many people long enough that all my experiments have developed into a solid step-by-step program of success. Just imagine when this works for you. Seriously, see it right now. Close your eyes and visualize this. Now take a deep breath. I'm going to take a sip of water, and I want you to take a deep breath. Close your eyes and take a couple deep breaths. Now this is not only like you're indulging me, but this is actually your first lesson. All right, one more deep breath and visualize this. You're in a right-sized body for you, whatever that is. Keep your eyes closed. I'll narrate. You don't have to watch the slides. A right-sized body for you, be that when you were in high school or college or maybe never. But you can see, you can feel that this is where your body belongs. You can visualize a number, whatever it takes for you to see yourself in the right clothing, the smoother skin. You can visualize your own doctor right now telling you to reduce those meds. Just imagine all the compliments you'll get. You can't hide weight loss. You're looking good, girl. You're looking good. See yourself wearing whatever you want next summer. Now, doesn't that feel good? All right. Come on out of it. Open your eyes. Come back. So, what are the great sugar detox myths? I think we have and what are the myths and secrets related to sugar detox, and how do we reframe our thinking to succeed? I see this as my job one, to reframe or to look at in a different light sugar in your life, right? That's why you're on this webinar, right? Or this workshop. To see what's out there that can help you make a change. So, secret number one. I alluded to this earlier, but I want to delve into it now. Sugar detoxes of 30 days and even 60 or 90 days or less are a proven setup for yo-yo dieting in disguise. Let me repeat that. Sugar detoxes of 30 days and even up to 60 or 90 days are a proven setup for yo-yo dieting in disguise. Most detoxes focus on just two things: the food and a certain time frame, like 10-day or 21 days. All their emails have pretty pictures of food you used to make with sugar and their attempts to make them sugar-free. Those attempts just trigger you to further desire sugar. That's a proven fact. Heck, anybody can white-knuckle, bite their tongue, go a few weeks, lose a few pounds, and temporarily feel better about themselves. And most of us have. The goal is not detoxing and stopping for a few days or weeks. It's lifetime control and lifestyle change. Of course, a good detox will give you an overview of what you can and can't eat. The trouble is that all the current diets and detoxes out there only tell you this and then make big deals of the recipes and fill their books up with them. We've had so many people come to us from other detoxes and diet. They all had varying degrees of temporary success. Reason being is that if you get the sugar out, even for a short time, you'll feel better and do better. And of course, you'll lose a little weight. The problem comes after the detox. Really, it starts during the initial detox with the lack of proper training and information. But after the white knuckle, grit your teeth and bear it type detoxes out there, almost everyone returns to the sugar. The solution is simple. You have to not feel deprived, but even more alive with your new food choices and behavior choices. You have to reframe the I feel restricted and change your mindset around the new foods and behaviors. Now, there's something that almost no one has ever heard before. Most folks who attempt to quit sugar or lose weight are not eating enough food, not by a long shot. Let me repeat that. You're probably in shock. Most folks who attempt to quit sugar or lose weight are not eating enough food, not by a long shot. Folks, we've been so conditioned to restricting foods to lose weight that when they see our diet, they feel like they'll get worse. It seems like way too much food. But remember, in the past, you were eating seriously low nutrition density food-like products, not real food. Thus, when you start the other detoxes, like good for you whole foods, seem like too much, too heavy. You get a few days or a week sugar-free and end up binging because you didn't understand what was happening to you emotionally or physically. With all the diet and weight loss information online, sugar detoxes are the in thing. There are articles, websites, and entire books about it everywhere. Lots of misinformation is now bled into the sugar information world as a detox, meaning that the solution to your weight and other health problems is to detox from sugar for a set number of days. It's enough to confuse anyone, gang. As I said, I'm here to reframe the way you look at sugar in your life, period. I want you to think of yourself as a pioneer, one who is interested in cutting through all the popular beliefs, whatever they may be, and getting to the truth for you. Think of it like any time in your past when you felt deep in your soul that you knew the answer to something, like just quit the white stuff, but couldn't quite access it successfully. You just needed a few more pieces of information and maybe a little bit more support. And then the tumblers of the lock clicked, and boom, the lights went on. An additional problem, which is never even brought up, let alone addressed, is that there are two other components of a sugar detox that must be present for you to succeed. Which brings us to secret number 2. Now, this is a big one and probably the key to all of this, okay? My railing on the other detoxes out there and my over the years understanding of what they're kind of head faking or faking out poor folks out there is absolutely true, but the raised awareness that they're creating and the tipping point that's coming is very exciting to me. But again, and I've read them all and I've looked at them all and I follow them all, none of them teach you about days 30 through 365, right? None of them teach you how to stay off sugar. Anyone, like I mentioned before, can do this for a couple of days or a week or a month. But there's another couple keys that you need to learn and reframe to think about your thinking and your emotions differently in order to get there. So let me read this. Your emotions are the key to your success or failure. It's not your food, your willpower, or what you put in your mouth. Of course you're going to eat healthy, okay? This is a given. There is a way to stop your cravings before they actually even happen. To detox successfully from sugar, you must understand what changes will happen to your mind and emotions in the process. If you're taking notes, you need to write this part down. The changes that will happen to your mind and emotions in the process. Change and recovery from sugar overuse is a process, not an event, not even a detox. Many of you have experienced this. You start to eliminate sugar, and it seems like someone died, even if you just reduced it. In reality, someone did, okay? Or at least you're not only experiencing physical withdrawals, but you're also grieving the loss of a close friend, and for some, a lover of many, many years. Over the years, I've seen predictable patterns emerge. And what is genius but pattern recognition, right? When you're in the throes of withdrawals, it's difficult to separate out what's actually physical sugar withdrawals and what is your actual mental state. Another key, or what you think and feel at the time, is your mental state. That's why you need a guide, someone who has traveled the path before you and fellow travelers who understand where you are. And simple ways to navigate the upset with very minimal interruption to your everyday life. Sugar has always been there for you. He didn't talk back, and he comforted you when mere mortals couldn't. You know, your candy was always there. Your sweet treats were always there, no matter what upset was going on in your life, right? Sugar has been tied to so many negative outcomes. I mean, it's just mind-boggling. There's actually 147, it's actually higher now, but 147 ways sugar ruins your health, right? And this is coming out every day, and all these studies they're out there. I mean, we have the actual studies in the office that are tied to each of these. So I'm going to go through these very rapidly. You do not want me to stop on 147. But I've done a little trick with the slides, right? I've highlighted a few below that we'll stop at, and I want you to be the one who sorts out the pattern that is developing, okay? Remember, I've seen hundreds personally and worked with thousands over the internet of people who have quit sugar, and these patterns come out time and time again, not in the people that have failed, but in the people that succeeded, okay? So get ready. I'm going to take a sip of water, and we are going to go very fast through 147. You are looking for the red, okay? We are looking for the red slides about the negative aspects of sugar, with all of which you've seen it in the press, you've seen it in the news, all of the studies and all of the shock of what it does. They call it Alzheimer's diabetes 3. It just goes on and on. It comes out every day. Well, here's an encapsulation of all that. We're going to go over that. We're going to go through it. All right? And I will probably just shout out a few of the physical ailments, but I want you to keep an eye out for the red ones, okay? All right. Number one, sugar can suppress the immune system. Sugar upsets mineral relationships in that. Here we go. First one, sugar can cause hyperactivity, anxiety, difficulty concentrating, and crankiness in children, okay? Significant rise in triglycerides, tissue elasticity and function. You know people look older when they eat sugar, right? High density lipoproteins, chromium deficiency, cancer of the breast, ovaries, prostate, and rectum. Fasting levels glucose increases them, causes copper deficiency, interferes with calcium and magnesium, can weaken your eyesight. This one probably should be red, but diabetics know this. Okay, sugar raises the level of neurotransmitters, dopamine, serotonin, and norepinephrine. Sugar can cause hypoglycemia, acidity in the digestive tract. This should be red too. A rapid rise in adrenaline levels in children. Sugar malabsorption. Premature aging. Alcoholism. I can attest. Tooth decay. Our mom always told us about that, right? Obesity, this is, diabesity. They have names for all this now. And there's so many people, so many doctors, so many studies that say sugar is the culprit. Crohn's disease, duodenal ulcers, arthritis. My poor mom had these, she would even say her fingers look like monsters, giant knuckles on every one of her hands and fingers. Asthma, yeast infections, gallstones, heart disease, we knew that, appendicitis, multiple sclerosis, hemorrhoids, varicose veins, periodontal, they always told us about that. That's the gums around your teeth. Osteoporosis, acidity, insulin sensitivity, low amount of vitamin E, growth hormone, cholesterol, drowsiness, glycation, absorption of protein, food allergies, diabetes. Again, I'm not focusing on the body, gang. Let's keep going. Toxemia, eczema, cardiovascular disease, structure your DNA, structure of protein, structure your collagen, cataracts, emphysema, arteriosclerosis, low density physiological, sugar enzymes ability to function, Parkinson's, permanent altering of the proteins, size of the liver, liver fat. Non-alcoholic fatty liver disease is now prevalent in children, gang. Children. Kidney size and pathological changes of the kidney. Sugar damages the pancreas. Fluid retention. Bowel movement. Myopia. Nearsightedness. I'm looking for a red one, gang. I don't know. Migraines is a big one. Oh my goodness. So many people lose their migraines when they quit the sugar. It's not even fun. Almost everyone that also quits caffeine has no more migraines. Pancreatic cancer, learning disorders. There we go. Sugar can cause an increase in delta, alpha, and theta brain waves. Sugar can cause depression. Sugar, gastric cancer. I don't even know what that is. Gout. Oral glucose levels. Insulin responses. Learning capacity. This one probably should be read too. Another one. Sugar can contribute to Alzheimer's disease. Dear sweet Juliet is my mother who died of Alzheimer's disease, and I told you the story about her being 8 and her mom passing and starting on a lifelong sugar addiction. At the end, when she didn't have really a way to filter out like rational thought, the only thing she wanted to eat was sugar. You tried to give her regular food and she just wouldn't eat it really. She wanted some type of sugar product. And it was just very obvious that she had no teeth left, and it's just really kind of sad to someone that you love watching the sugar continue to decimate her body, you know. So it definitely, I believe, can contribute, and all the studies say that it can contribute to Alzheimer's. They're calling it diabetes 3, so big one. Platelet, hormonal imbalance. All right, I'm gonna whiz through the rest of them until we get to a red one. You get the idea. Cancer. I don't even know how many are left. Gallbladder. Sugar is an addictive substance. Sugar can be intoxicating, similar to alcohol. Sugar can exacerbate PMS. I don't know if that one should be read. Carbon dioxide. A decrease in sugar can increase emotional instability. Now, can you imagine the study that they had to do to get that information, okay? Fat, excessive food intake. Sugar can worsen the symptoms of children with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, right? Urinary, adrenal, metabolic processes. IVs, intravenous feeds of sugar water, can cut off oxygen to the brain. Oh, goodness gracious. Lung cancer, polio, epileptic seizures, high blood pressure. Limiting sugar saves lives and cell death. I'm going to keep going, gang. This is getting depressing. You know it is, and you know all this anyway. Sugar may contribute to mild memory loss. Again, write that one down. Constipation, varicose veins. Sugar can cause brain decay in pre-diabetic and diabetic women. Mama. Stomach cancer, asthma, irritable bowel, rectum, and kidney, tumors. Do you see a pattern here? I didn't do that for my health. I did that so you guys could see, you know, all the other physical stuff. You know what the food is doing to your body, to your health. But what is it doing to your brain? What is it doing to your mind, right? Did you see a pattern here? Many of the sugar detoxes out there are focused on the food and the body, and usually the weight, which are all very important. I'm not taking away from that, right? That's not what's keeping you from quitting, though. That is not the problem when it comes to understanding how to eliminate sugar in your diet, right? The problem is in our brains, and it's in our emotions. We must understand what changes will happen to your mind. You must understand in the process. And here we go. These slides I'm going to dwell on a little bit, simply because I want to drive home to you what's going to happen. What maybe was happening to you before, or maybe you're afraid of happening, I don't know. But what is actually happening, and what is the reality of a real sugar detox between days 0 and 45, days 1 through 30 or 45. You will be emotional, okay? And that runs the gamut of everything, okay? You will be unusually emotional. You will be inexplicably weepy, okay? Nothing's gonna be wrong in your life. No one may not have died or be sick or broken up with you, but there will be tears and you will not know why. And most people unconsciously reach back for the sugar because they have a life to live. They cannot do this right now, basically. You've heard that in the movies, right? You can't do this right now. But you have to understand this coming and maybe plan for it. You may feel angry for no reason. Same thing. Nothing to be angry about, but you feel anger welling up inside you. You may feel sad for no reason. This is a bigger one. This is an important one because it's kind of overarching, if you will, right? You may be depressed a little. Don't worry, it's neither one of these things are mental issues. It's a physical withdrawal symptom, okay? The stress will likely feel unbearable at times. This feeling of impending doom envelops you for a couple of days, right? Now, how do I know all this? Because I've seen it so many times. This is where everybody turns tail and runs, okay? Because they have a life, they have kids, they have a job, they have a spouse. And they have to, they can't have these feelings going on right now, right? So how do you get through them, right? When the only thing you can think of, the only thought that hijacks your totally beautiful mind is your favorite sugar treat, that should be your biggest clue ever, right? Your brain, you're not even thinking clearly. Your car is driving itself to the 7-Eleven. It's so strange, right? Again, think of nicotine, not heroin or cocaine, but think of it as a difficult, bad habit, addiction. People don't like the word addiction, but we got to call it what it is sometimes. The deep understanding of the lesson above has been a huge turning point for most of our clients. Once we connect the dots between our sugar use and our minds and emotion, we are well on our way to success. Here's Jay, I can't believe it. Today I made 60 days off flour and sugar. There were so many failed attempts, so many. I want to make sure you guys understand that recidivism or back and forth at the beginning is normal. I really doubted my ability to ever do this. I even survived the most stressful few months of my life. I feel so good, I really can't see myself going back now. So, I believe I'm on day 81, and what a day it's been. After my chat with Mike Collins yesterday, I woke up feeling so much more focused and energized. Turns out there's a high possibility I would have lost the plot or point if you hadn't offered support, etc., etc. Now, here's a huge bonus about cravings and hunger. The growling stomach disappears. I mean, You could hear my stomach growl from across the room, gang. It was insane, really. And now I haven't had a stomach growl in 30 years. Your actual, the delivery system for this drug of choice, if you will, sugar, is the gut, it's the stomach. And so withdrawals happen there. And one of them is a growling stomach. And once you stop using, your stomach growling goes away. And that one people just really freak out about. And finally, secret number 3. Self-care is not optional, okay? Now, I get a little pushback on this one. This process is more about giving to yourself rather than taking something away, okay? People think deprivation when they do a detox, when they change their diet, when whatever. We're here to show you that really success comes when you give back, when you eliminate the bad stuff, sure, but you give back more comfort than you actually take away. You got to deeply understand what you need in terms of taking care of yourself in this process, right? And most people just don't. I mean, they don't. A lot of us are, I think I got it down another slide, but there's another true fact. We need to build up a support system around you to help you in the tough times, and there will be tough times. You need to have developed these new practices, skills, and habits first, before and ahead of time, before you actually need it, like during the initial detox, right? Self-care is how you take your power back. It's an empty lantern provides no light. Self-care is the fuel that allows your light to shine brightly. And as they say on the airlines, put your oxygen mask on first. This seemingly simple little concept trips up so many people. Many folks also argue that it has nothing to do with quitting sugar and that they just need a menu and the instructions. And I get a lot of pushback on this. But we need to reframe this, right? And I'm looking for this slide, but I don't know if it's here. Self-soothing without sugar as a fixture in your life, and why it's an important part of the process. The idea of genuine self-care is so foreign to people that this is a very common sticking point. We're used to self-deprivation, like carb restricting and dieting. How in God's name do we get into adulthood minus the idea that being kind to ourselves was an option? How do you kill that negative self that draws you back to sugar every time? You do not give it power, right? Practicing self-care is the antidote to negative self-talk, poor body image, and the inability to take action or taking the wrong action. It's such a simple concept that it's easy to overlook, and people are so focused on gritting their teeth willpower that they can't seem to reframe, to think about their thinking, that changing it to self-kindness would work, right? Self-care is defined quite simply as being kind to yourself. You do this mostly with self-talk, but also, as I'm about to show you, in performing little acts of kindness that you have been putting off or you have been doing for others instead of yourself. Now here's the slide I was looking for. Let me take a sip of water. Many, many sugar addicts are people pleasers. I know I am, and was even worse before I learned about this concept or this construct, right? Do you feel right now, and I want you to be honest with me and yourself, do you feel in your life that you are doing for everyone in your life but yourself? Right? I mean, this is so common with the people that we work with. Again, another pattern developed, right? Another pattern developing. We need to have these practices, just like any physical or mental practice you participate in place and ready before we need them. This is why people fail. They don't have a substitute for their go-to anxiety reliever or stress reliever, sugar. Self-soothing is the goal. Since childhood, most of us have use sugar unconsciously to soothe bad, painful, or hard to handle feelings. When we quit, we need replacements ready to go. And this seemingly simple idea gets me some serious backlash, as I've said. Most folks never tied together their emotional state with their sugar use, or I might add, the emotions of their children and sugar. And here's the best part. A little extra bonus myth of the sugar detox and detox diet worlds. And it's a little counterintuitive. And I want to stress this hard. You cannot exercise your way out of this. Not exercise your way. This calorie in, calorie out is, hopefully you understand now, has been debunked, right? There's no eat less, exercise more. It doesn't work. Unless you're looking at the brain, the emotions, the stress is just going to be unbearable. Regardless of what you've heard, so put your running shoes away. A side note, this is important, right? I always get a little ahead of myself, gang. We exercise not to help us heal, restore, and recalibrate our feel-good brain chemicals, not for any calorie deficit BS, right? Again, you hopefully understand now that all calories are not created equal, that sugar is a toxic calorie and is dose dependent. You can write that one down too, dose dependent, right? In other words, the more you use, the more poison it becomes, all right? And when I talk about healing and restoring brain chemicals, I'm talking about the natural feel-goods that happen after you exercise hard or walk or even exercise lightly. This is the reason we exercise, not to worry about burning off X amount of calories, right? I don't know, I wish someone had never invented the term, and I've tried to research the word, empty calories, right? Empty calories is like a free pass to do whatever you want, right? Because they're empty, they're nefarious, there's nothing to them. That's crazy. They are toxic and they can hurt you, especially mentally, emotionally, and physically. Exercise helps, but it's not required. A little different than you've heard before, eh? So here's Angela. I just put these in. These are people in our group, inside our group. You know, they just keep coming every day now. We had a couple yesterday for in the 200s, 200 days, 300 days, 250 days, 200, it just keeps coming. Look, gang, you're probably here because you've identified sugar as one of your stumbling blocks to your ultimate health and wellness plan. You've tried dang near everything before. You know how to eat well. Heck, some of my clients are nutritionists. But sugar has handed you defeat after defeat, maybe for years or decades. You may even be a graduate of another sugar detox. I know a lot of my folks are. You've had some minor successes, but at the end of the day, you still find yourself yo-yoing and back and forth and a slave to your sugar habit. Now, I've outlined all the things that most diet and detox gurus don't know about or teach because they're busy with their special diet or exercise regime. I've shown you a bunch of folks just like you who started in the exact same place today and are free of sugar and are right-sized bodies for them and no longer crave the stuff. And we've seen all the old way of doing things and going at it all alone simply isn't cutting it. The only way forward is to start with the focus on long term. Read that for me while I take another water. The only way forward is to start with the focus on the long term. Now look, we've built this little pyramid much better than the government food pyramid. Starts at the bottom with a simple sugar detox. Make it easy, right? Crush the cravings, stabilize the emotions. You see the order I have these in? Very different. Why? I got eat right above stabilize the emotions. Get rid of the cravings so you can get to some abstinence, then get to the emotions, then eat right, then navigate days 30 to 365. Now you're at a sugar-free lifestyle, right? This is how the real pyramid should work. This is how the real progression of getting off sugar should work. But I'd like to take a deep dive with a few of you and show you a little bit of their journey, a few of our success stories, actually, excuse me, and show you their journey. This is JS. Everything we do is private and just between you and us, so you can always feel safe. I didn't know how horrible I felt until I didn't. I saw someone say this about switching to a healthy diet in general, but oh my God, I would not be any more true for getting off sugar. You really won't believe it until you experience it for yourself. I had no idea how good I would feel. Now, JS is a mom of a 7-year-old who had tried for years to get off sugar and failed over and over again. She grew up in an environment that many of us would have called heaven, kind of like my mom, until it wasn't. Her mother actually owns a bakery. That's a true story. Sugar was part of her life for so many years, like second nature, and her mom luckily lived a little bit away, but still brought treats when she visited her granddaughter. At first, she struggled. She was building a house, she had her daughter, she was homeschooling her, and her husband had his job and the new house. And when I say building, I mean they were the contractors. She thought there's no time to be in withdrawals. But just one little trick turned the tide. Over the years, we've seen this pattern again and again. Now it's become a bedrock of our protocol. Hint, it has to do with what you're drinking and not drinking and how. A case study number 2. MA is a 50-ish male who already lost over 100 pounds on a near zero carb diet following one of the newer diets out there. Keto, by the way. He was committed, and the problem was he plateaued and just could not put down the sugar long term. It kept drawing him back. And you can read that. I think I have to put my glasses on to read that one. My detox got derailed when my uncle was admitted to the hospital yet again. I'm the family caregiver. Now I am back on track and have accepted the detoxing from sugar really is a process. Just thought I'd share my learning. My aha moment about the very strong connection between my emotions and my sugar cravings. Yeah, see, I mean, and then he's our little, he does our little, it took a few sessions, but we finally got there. He's over 6 months off sugar today. His aha moment is the connection between the emotions and the sugar. He's a resident artist now. Case number 3, Karen is one of the most knowledgeable people around when it comes to wellness and diet. At the time, and she was teaching me stuff, but she just couldn't put down the sugar. Now here's Karen today, a decade later. Becoming sugar-free was a lifestyle change for me. Initially, there were ups and downs, a relapse or two, and some scary, crazy detox symptoms. I'm happy to say that I now reap the benefits of giving up sugar for over 10 years. I lost weight, my skin cleared up, just turned 51, and get mistaken for 30 on a regular basis. Now you can do this. We can do this together. Your brighter future is within your grasp. Just imagine how great it feels when you finally no longer have to struggle with sugar in your life. When you're finally at peace with it. Feel how good it feels when you're in a right-sized body and you no longer crave the stuff. And if you'd like me to help you do this, I'd be delighted. Here's exactly how I can help. I've set aside some time in the next 48 hours to speak with you personally about how you can apply these principles in your life starting today. On this 30 to 45 minute call, we'll put together a specific game plan tailored specifically for your situation to help you. Everyone has a personal sugar story, or how they got here, and how in turn they walk out. It's not one size fits all. So if you want to finally make quitting or controlling sugar in your life permanent, if you want to finally occupy that right-sized body for you, and if you want to do it all without completely overhauling your life, then this is for you. Here's exactly how we'll do this. First, we'll get your personal, exclusive sugar story, where you just start from the beginning and tell me about where you are. Then we'll find out exactly where you want to be, weight-wise, health-wise, and attitude-wise. And finally, we'll create a specific plan, personalized just for you. Now, look, here's what's going to happen. First 10 or 15 minutes, 20 minutes maybe, well, we're going to talk about your sugar story. I'm going to ask some probing questions. I'm just going to listen, okay? I want you to lay it all out from as far back as you can remember with your history and your story about sugar, right? Very important that I know how you got here, right? Then I'm going to flip it. We're going to flip the whole script, right? We're going to flip it over, and we're going to combine decades of experience and pattern recognition and success stories over and over with your story. We're going to pair them together, and you're going to have a written plan, if you bring a pen, on exactly how to walk right out of this, okay? How exactly to apply it to your life, what, where the touch points are and where the leverage points are that you can use our experience to get you out of this, okay? And the best part of this call is it's absolutely free, which means you have absolutely nothing to lose. Your personal sugar success story evaluation and success game plan call. So if you try it again and again to quit sugar or implement a diet that requires you reducing sugar but couldn't, then this call is for you. We'll tailor a game plan to your exact circumstances and show you how to finally succeed. And the call is absolutely free. Now, I have a few caveats here. This call is not for you if any of the following are true. You're not absolutely ready to quit sugar, at least for a short time, to see how you feel right now. You have a victim mentality, blame others, or give up at the first sign of adversity. This call is not for you if you're not at least open to the idea that your issue with sugar and carbs could be an addiction. Think nicotine gang here, not heroin or cocaine, but you must be open to the idea that your body might not treat sugar well and stopping would be good for you. You're not an action taker. If this call is not for you if you're not an action taker and you don't enjoy interacting with others. This is key. Accepting support is vital. Accepting support from another human being or several is important. You cannot do this alone. Some of the MDs and PhDs on my board at the Food Addiction Institute say this requires an inordinate amount of support, okay? And this call is not for you if you don't want this bad, okay? We're here to change the world. We've seen the successes and the failures, and we won't have time to convince you that this is the right thing for you and your family. We are on the right side of history, gang. You know it. You can feel it in your bones, or you wouldn't have listened this far. So please, we are not in the convincing business. We're in the life change business, so please be ready, okay? You got to want this bad. But it is for you if this call, you've tried again to quit sugar, but always went back. We're the last house on the block, okay? So many of our folks have tried. You would not believe the email I got the other day from a new coaching student. Has tried I couldn't even list them. There's about 30 of them, 30 different ways that she's tried to quit sugar. So we are the last house on the block. You've had successes in other parts of your life. This is important, right? You've got to be able to transfer the successes, right? And you know you can succeed, but need a little help on this one. You're tired of spinning your wheels on this one. You're ready for a proven step-by-step game plan backed by unrivaled support to walk out of this. This is for you if you're just sick and tired of being sick and tired. And it's for you if you feel you just can't wait on this health stuff, not even one more day. If that's you, then book your call, your personal sugar success story, evaluation, flip the switch or flip the program, then the success game plan. That call today, here's where you go, sugaraddiction.com/call. Now the spaces are very limited, so look, this is great for my research to intake all these. I do a lot of them myself. Right now, in the early days here, I'm going to do them all myself. So you're going to get an opportunity to speak with me So just either click the link below or go to sugaraddiction.com/call. And this is going to work for you even if you've tried and failed numerous times before. That's our favorite client, actually. You have a lot of weight to lose. We have people 100, 200, 300 pounds overweight and reducing daily. You hate exercise. It's okay, no problem. You're a little scared. No, it's okay. We get it. And we get a lot of that, by the way. They're like, can this really be the one or the time that this works for me? If any of the following sounds like you, not to worry. We'll sort it all out. Just book your call. Personal sugar success story evaluation and success game plan call today. sugaraddiction.com/call. Now the spaces are limited, so book your call or simply click the link below. So you really have two choices now. You can continue doing what you've always done, and sadly, you'll probably get the same results. Or you can jump on the phone with me and put together a winning game plan that will set you up for success. I've noticed there are two types of people out there. The struggler figures out what he or she wants and asks, how can I do this? And then they spend years trying to crack the code, but it sadly rarely happens. And then there's the smart person who actually succeeds because they figure out what they want and ask, who can help me with this? Who can help me achieve this? It's the who, not how. It's a long story, but it's thinking about your thinking again. It's reframing, right? Who can help me achieve this? They find a mentor, a coach, someone who's already paved the path, someone who can help them get the results so much faster than they could have ever on their own. So which type of person are you? Your personal sugar success story evaluation, big part of it, important part of it, and then the game plan right after it. 30, 45 minutes, not that long. So just go to sugaraddiction.com/call or click the link below. The spaces are very limited, and book your call. You've watched this whole training, entire training. Thank you, by the way. I appreciate that. I'm sure you really want to quit sugar, and you know that you're simply not getting the results you want on your own. Simply click the link below, and let's get started. Gang, I really enjoyed this. I like talking about sugar. I'd like to talk about sugar with you. I've got some time in the next couple of weeks, in the next 48 hours. Do it as quickly as you can because the slots fill up pretty quickly. So if this is something that you're interested in, please click the link or go to sugaraddiction.com/call. And let's see if we can't figure out what your issues are and get you out of this mess here of the sugar stuff. I know you'll appreciate it. Guys, thanks again. I'll talk to you real soon. Bye-bye for now.